Hi everyone, we're here today doing another interview at the Business Exit Summit, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be sitting here with Kerry Boulton, the CEO and founder of the Exit Strategy Group. Kerry just delivered an incredible keynote on transforming businesses into valuable sellable assets, and she'll also be joining a panel session on achieving high valued exits. But what really caught my attention was her personal story. So she's got over $15.4 million worth of successful business sales under her belt. So we'll be diving into a very interesting conversation today. So thank you for being with us here today, Kerry.
Thanks for the opportunity, Rhythm.
Absolutely. Now, Kerry, I have to start with something that absolutely fascinated me when I read your background. So in 1987, you became the first woman to own an international freight forwarding company when you negotiated the buyout of Freight Management International from Main Nicholas. Now, that must have been quite a moment for you. So what was going through your head when you made that deal?
So that was the first opportunity that I had to be able to be in a business of my own. I was the general manager of that particular division of the company, Main Nicholas being a large public company. And in today's environment, a lot of people won't even remember that company because it's since been gobbled up and gone on to different things.
Right.
But as the Freight Management International in that particular division, Main Nicholas looked ahead and said strategically, we want to be in a different business, and we're selling a large number of the diversified companies that they had. They wanted to get into the health industry. So that opportunity presented itself, and I said to my husband, maybe we could do this. Maybe we could buy this business. And he said, I don't know. Anyway, I went to a very dear friend and mentor who said to me, I tell you what, Kerry, you write the plan, and if you can convince me, I'll help you get the money together. So I had no idea how to write that plan at the time, because when you're in a corporate, you don't write plans to raise money because we needed investors.
Correct.
And so I very fortunately, a book was just published from MIT in Boston, which was How to Write Plans That Win Dollars. So I sent away for the book. It arrived. I read it cover to cover. I wrote the business plan. I typed the business plan. This is in the days before Excel spreadsheets and computers. This is the old IBM golf ball days, So I wrote the plan by the book. And that's where I first learned that I needed to have an exit strategy. Because it said there, if you're going to get investors, they need to know how they're going to get their money out down the track.
Right.
And so that was the opportunity that presented itself. What's not anywhere in all of that written material, it was that at the time, I happened to be 7 months pregnant with our first child.
Oh, wow.
And my daughter was born the day I had to sign the contract.
Oh my gosh, wow. Truly memorable day.
I know, it was a totally memorable day. And I do remember waddling over to the public telephone in the hospital and ringing my operations director and saying, Alf, I'm sorry, I'm not coming, but you can come to me if you like. So anyway, it all transacted, and 1st of July 1987, took over the business with a newborn, and the rest is history, as they say.
Wonderful. Honestly, thank you for sharing that. It gives such a true inspiration for all of the people out there, because, now we have the information, and we're here today at the Business Exit Summit sharing that information, and we have such great speakers who are sharing their insights. But obviously back then, when you didn't have the information, and, it was taking a leap of faith, and you did, and it worked out for you. It's truly wonderful to hear that. Now, the fact that, you turned it around and you sold it 9 years later for what you called is one of the biggest payouts of your career. So what made you believe that you could see the value where others might have seen risk?
I don't know that I was that sophisticated. I don't think I had that sort of sophisticated view of the business at that particular time. And it was a leap of faith. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But one of the really key turning points in it was the quality movement, which was around 1990, 1991, and we embraced the whole TQM process, total quality management process, which is not unlike what we talk about in EOS today. So having that operating system, having focus on the people and all of the different aspects of understanding cross-functional teams, because I had 63 staff in 5 locations around Australia and 120 international agents. So it was a fair amount to deal with. And I think that the notion of exit was always there at some future time. I knew that was not going to be a business I was going to be in for the rest of my life as a lifestyle business. So positioning the business so that it would be attractive to an international investor, that was the exit strategy that was written right from the very beginning. And somewhere between the 5 and the 10-year mark. The company came along in 2007 that they actually approached us. We didn't put the business on the market. We just had positioned ourselves to become attractive to the buyer that we thought would ultimately come along. And they did. So I had 2 years as an earn-out, which people will learn about as as part of the Business Exit Summit, and then finally exited myself in 1996.
I understand, but like that synergy between the buyer and the seller, how important would you say that there is?
I think what's really important is to understand who you are building your business for ultimately. It's great that you have a good business. It gives you profits along the way. You can extract that and you have a good lifestyle. But understand who it is that you are positioning the business for somewhere down the track.
Correct. You need to have that mindset for sure.
Absolutely. Yes.
Definitely. Now, you had this massive win, this career-defining exit, but then you did something really interesting. So instead of just enjoying the success, you started helping other business owners achieve this same thing. So what sparked that shift from doing deals to helping others do deals?
So I started doing business coaching after I sold the business, which of course in the late 1990s or mid 1990s was never even in anyone's vocabulary. And I still come back to this notion of exit that no one actually thought about it. We also had another business at that time, which was in real estate, residential real estate and property management, which we were growing as a franchise. So the notion of understanding that your business needs to be replicable and transferable was something that I've been talking about for donkey's years. So no matter what business you're in, and all of those different risks that any future acquirer might look at and what makes your business valuable going forward. Those are the elements that I've really loved to concentrate on. We had our second exit with that real estate business in 2007.
Oh, right. Nice.
We weren't selling the business. We just simply had, as Kerry Packer said, the Allen Bond in your lifetime. So the Allen Bond came along in our lifetime in 2007 and made us an offer too good to refuse. So we said, sure, thank you, we're out. Who knew the GFC was going to hit in 2008? So there's a message there that I really like to give to everybody, and that is have your business ready. Always position yourself to be attractive because you never know when an Allen Bond might come along in your lifetime.
Yeah, very, very true. Then when we were marketing about the Business Exit Summit, this was one thing that like our founder Steve was telling everyone, that you just need to be ready. You might not want to exit your business tomorrow or let's say in a year, but like just to be ready, it's good to be out there, having conversations, just, keep having that mindset. So now that you've said it too, like definitely aligns well. Now, there must be something deeply satisfying about helping someone else have their own big payday moment. So what was that experience like for you when you see it click for them?
The satisfaction comes really from seeing people turn around where they are and actually being ready, getting themselves to be ready. So the liquidity event isn't the be all and end all.
Yeah.
It's the getting ready. And
Right.
then it's the thinking about what's next. Because that's just as important as the liquidity event, quite
Correct.
frankly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've seen circumstances when that hasn't happened, when the business owner didn't prepare enough for what was next and went through some pretty difficult times within a few years.
Right.
Took time, turned it
Yeah.
around, turned themselves around, and
Yeah.
then everything was fine. But it takes its toll.
Yeah,
So the
true.
satisfaction for me comes with working with business owners to get themselves, not only themselves and the business, but the whole family, everyone, all of your stakeholders, everyone that's involved. So from a practical perspective, both business, personal, and financial. And I'm not the be-all and end-all of all of those different professions.
Yeah.
You know, I am not an accountant. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a lawyer. I've been a business owner, but I know the questions to ask across all of those areas to be able to get people to a place where they're going to be able to enjoy the rest of their lives. So I do like to say that I think I can be a walking, talking, living demonstration of what I love to work with business owners to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you started doing this back in 1990s, I'm sure it would have been challenging for you because as now, compared to now, fast forwarding to 2025. So what were some of the challenges you faced back then?
Well, mainly people had no concept of what exit was all about. First of all, that word was a bit of a no-no as well. No one really liked to confront the word exit because it has some sort of finality to it.
Yeah.
But it really isn't. It really isn't.
Yeah,
we are all human.
Correct.
We are all leaving our businesses one day.
Yeah.
So let's be ready and plan for it and not have it happen to us in terms of some sort of external event. I mean, I've done a lot of work together with the Exit Planning Institute, and we talk about the 5 Ds, which is death, divorce, disagreement, disability, disaster. And in fact, in one of my books, there's a whole lot more that I've listed as well. If something like that actually happens, let's be ready so that we're not at the effect of that, but rather we're in as much control as we can be if something like that should happen.
True.
And I've actually had the ultimate with that when my husband passed away in 2019. But fortunately, we practiced what I preach, so everything was in place. But a lot of people would find that very difficult, particularly in family businesses and other stakeholders, if you haven't addressed what the issues are.
Yeah, very well said. That's a very key point that I know our audience members will be thinking about. Now, we touched upon your book, so we have to talk about that. So you've written The Uncensored Truth about exit strategies, which suggests that there are some pretty significant myths that are out there. So for our audience watching this interview, what's the biggest misconception that you see successful entrepreneurs have about their own exit?
Really thinking that it's just going to happen and that they can just get themselves ready in a sprint in 90 days. We'll be right. We'll get it all done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That just is not going to happen. Not if you want to maximize the result for yourself.
Correct.
It is just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So it's also related to those 5 Ds that I talked about.
Yeah.
So if something like that occurs, I had a client I was working with. We've done the initial diagnostic with the exit process and just had started to see where some of the gaps are. And he rang me and he said, "Kerry, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to print the pause button. Press the pause button. My wife's just come home and told me she wants a divorce." Ooh. Okay, and that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Now, I actually happened to see that client last week, and he's still finalising all of that, and he said he'll be ready to pick up the pieces in probably early next year. So you just don't know. You just need to be ready. Start early.
True.
Start at the very beginning. Like in that book that I mentioned when I first bought the freight business, it was a case of, what's your exit strategy? Get ready. Now, that was all around the business.
Yeah.
Since then, I've learned it's a heck of a lot more than that.
Absolutely. Well, the audience members know now, and I'm sure they'll be grabbing a copy of your book. Now, Kerry, for someone watching this interview who thinks that their business might be ready for an exit in the next 2 to 3 years, what's the one thing that you should that you would tell them to do, let's say by tomorrow, something that they should start doing?
Check all your paperwork, your governance. Make sure that you have all of your documentation at your fingertips. That's one of the most important parts that I find a lot of business owners don't have. I ask them for copies of their constitutions or, the basic formation for the company, the shareholders agreements and those sorts of things. And it usually will take them weeks to find them. So make sure you've got, as a start, all your governance documents in place. And many times when I do look over them, they're not even signed.
Oh.
Fully. There'll be one signature missing or something like that. So, make sure you've got your documentation right, at least to start with.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, before we wrap up this interview, it's your first time speaking at the Business Exit Summit, and I'm hoping there are going to be many more times. So what's your experience been like being here today?
I think the summit is such a great initiative, and I'd really like to applaud Steve for putting it together. As an individual, I have been pounding the pavements and beating the drum for a long, 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 long time.
Correct.
And it is just such an important part of our economy here in Australia, let alone for the individual owners.
True. Well, even for us, I know that Wholesale Investors has been in business for over 14 years, but it's the first time that we are hosting it. Took us a long time as well, but we got here today, and we hope that, we get to host this again today, and you can share your expertise with the audience. So thank you, viewers, for tuning in. I hope you found this conversation as insightful as I did. I look forward to seeing you all in my next interview, and thank you again, Kerry, for all your insights and for sharing your time with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.